Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel. Talks about the cars, trucks, and SUVs, all that really cool stuff here in our life. And there's my little sticker logo for my YouTube channel. Morning there. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday morning in June. I mean, man almighty, wow. I mean, June seems to be the fastest month of the year. Why is that? It's just hard to believe we're already, halfway through June. And I think it's because you get out of school and you're so excited for summer to start that before you know, summer's over. Who knows these stories as a young kid or person that's going to school? So, or if you vacation a lot in the summertime, same thing. It's like poof, gone. But what a beautiful day. It's Monday, and wow, I've been babysitting the little puppy all morning. My daughter got really sick last night. She ate something or something. I don't know. All I know is I've been on puppy watch all morning long, and the kid still hasn't shown up to take care of the dog. Now the wife's taking care of the new addition to the family, the puppy, German Shepherd. Took it to the car show yesterday, and wow, just a come on, pups, come on, get on in. Had a really great day. Had a really great Father's Day. Hope everybody else did out there. Enjoyable family get together. It's not easy. I talked about that yesterday. If you're a father and married or divorced or separated or whatever it may be, it's not easy in this physical world to take care of others and keep everybody happy. You know what I mean by that. Got the back in the shop here. Got the Hondas out yesterday. And wow, Honda's Goldwing. This Goldwing is just such a incredibly tuned motorcycle, but at the same time, it's kind of bumpy. I really noticed yesterday, this thing kind of really is kind of a bumpy ride. The daughter, Fury, this is a lot of bike. It's just a big bike. So for her, it just isn't, it's okay. I mean, she's not excited about it because it's just the reach, the pedals. It's for a 6 foot plus person to really ride this bike. And she claims at higher speeds, this thing really does kind of get a little walking out of it. So, but it's a chopper, right? Hey, Tango! Where's the Tango dog? So, I did the father-daughter Father's Day ride yesterday on the two Hondas. We two-upped. And it's just incredible on how it's such a different, just a whole different ride from the Harleys, the Indians. You don't get the exhaust note. But, I mean, with the Honda Goldwing here, it really is an incredibly sport bike. The daughter needs a sport bike, too. I kind of think I should just get rid of that and get more of a sport bike to kind of be with me, because she just can't even hang with me. I mean, she's so far behind me all the time. Just doesn't have the power. So, I don't have my other dog. Now it's Tango. So let's get the day going. And tell you what, I'm not drinking coffee. That coffee, I don't know, man. It's just too much coughing and hack. It's just huge difference. Sucks because I need my caffeine, and the tea does the same thing. So get up here, get the day going, and get the first of the week going, all the projects, and oh my goodness, get motivated. My coffee, because man, I just kind of like to have that caffeine shot. I know people say, well, drink the bold drink or something. I don't know. I mean, all these drinks, you read the ingredients in them, and do you read the ingredients of what you're drinking? So for me, no coffee, just because the GERD situation just drives you nuts when you're coughing. I just have to imagine what's in those ingredients and the different coffees is what does it. So what I said to myself this morning was, why don't we talk about read? What do you read, right? And I was thinking to myself, what drew this conversation was on Friday, I went by a motorcycle dealership here, a good friend of mine who I used to do business with years and years ago, and it's called JT Motorsports out of Frederick, Maryland, and I have never seen his brand new dealership that he opened up, meaning he relocated his existing dealership in 2019, and I've never been to his location. I've seen pictures of it on the internet and all, but I just never have gone to his establishment. But the thing is, he's not really selling the products that I buy. and have relationships with other dealerships. He's a big KTM dealer, Kawasaki dealer. He used to, Suzuki and Polaris and Can-Am. So, and those just aren't really products that I'm buying. I just don't have the relationships with the financial end of that either. So there's a lot that goes into my relationships with these vehicles, though. It's just the financial aspect as well as what banks buy the Iceman's craziness debts. So, anyway, just stopped by there Friday, and there's a cool guy named Mike Kraft. And if he's watched my video, I certainly hope he isn't offended if I announce his name, because he's a former, road racer. And oh my gosh! And what's incredible is he's the apparel coordinator there at the dealership. And I met him, actually, believe it or not, I met him like 5 years ago. And he's just a really great guy. And he's a very thorough and detailed guy. And so I never knew he was a road racer. I never have been to the dealership that much. They have the Klim, whatever you want to call it, the KLIM apparel line. And if you're a motorcycle enthusiast, that's the high-end motorcycle gear that you can buy. And it's usually very expensive, but it's an incredible product. And so that's why I went up there. I went up there to get another pair of riding pants, because I'm trying to double up my gear from one place to another, because I'm constantly just taking gear from one place to another. So I bought some new Bell helmets, and if you watched my video yesterday, the Bell helmets, my daughter actually loves that new modular Bell helmet that she can use when she's not using her Arai. And my Bell helmet, I've got the Shoei, the Shui, Neotech. You're not going to find any modular helmet that's going to be better than that. So the Bell helmet for me, it's pretty good, but it's not the greatest. It gets a lot of noise through the helmet. But for the money, it's all about the money. It's basically close to half the price of the Shoei and half the price of the Arai. So, anyways, point is, I was up there at the Frederick JT Motorsports in Frederick, Maryland. Really nice dealership. I was really blown away how big the place is and how nice it is, and just really great, nice people, and they're doing extremely well. They don't have enough per se, it's the same old story. Salespeople, product. When I was there, things were happening. And so, but I talked to Mike, and that's why I went up there, because I knew Mike would be the guy to help me pick out the right gear. And sure enough, we started talking, and then he showed me a video of him riding off-road. Now, Mike's, in his 50s, and this video, what he did is he made a video, a camera mounted to the bottom of the motorcycle, and he wanted people to see how the CRF, I think, 450 or whatever he was riding, how the suspension works as you go on the back dirt roads and back hills and over jumps and mounds and the whole 9 yards. It's pretty cool to watch that video, because you really see the flex of the suspension with all things going on. But meanwhile, you can see this guy's, wheeling, airborne. I'm like, wow, this, you can just tell by the way he rides his dirt bike that he's an incredibly talented rider. And I was just taken back. I'm like, that's you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wow. So then he disclosed to me that he used to race Honda race bikes on the road courses, and he did it for 11 years, I believe. I think he said 9 years. I think he said 9 years, which that's a pretty long feat. And so, going back to this morning's conversation about Reed, I was really intrigued by how he would read, like we were looking at different style pants. It's infinite. Maybe he goes and buys anything today. There's so many options. And so for riding gear, you can get different style pants. And I just was intrigued by how he would take the time and he would read every fine detail about the different style pants. And I was just like, wow, I've never really seen anybody do that before. And he's just a really detailed guy. And so I thought to myself, this is kind of interesting that in today's society, more than ever, we have so many things in front of us to read and learn, but yet it seems the key word, you hear more than ever is the misinformation age. But I think it's more about, I don't think people even read the information. And that's right. I mean, who here has bought a brand new car, bought a brand new device? You know, it could be numerous things. And you get the instructions to read about your new product, and who actually reads them. And I guarantee you that half of the people or more don't read the instructions. And I can assure you that most car salespeople and even motorcycle people, but for sure car salespeople, they can probably say the number one call they get is simple things that is in the owner's manual that the people never ever read. I mean, I can assure you that. And even the motorcycle, and I can remember years ago, I got the new Milwaukee 8 Series motorcycle with a new boom box infotainment center on Harley, and it was all new technology. And I'm going up the road in my new Harley CVO, and the screen goes blank on the, for the navigation, the whole infotainment, and I'm stumped on how to get it back on. And fortunately, I was right up the road from Frederick Harley Davidson. I literally had to pull in the parking lot, and the guy comes out, and he pushes this little power on button, and the infotainment center comes back on. So this little button that I didn't recognize is so new technology, but I didn't read. I mean, in all sincerity, give you a quick overview of the technology cheat sheet. And I looked at that, but at the same time, I didn't catch the power on, power off button. So even for me, I mean, I'll be the first to raise my hand. Yeah, do you read everything that you buy and stuff? I don't. I mean, but that's what I thought to myself is more than ever in today's society, the amount of technology we have. I mean, but I think really where it goes to is the YouTube, just like me. I got some YouTube how-to videos on how to do things, how to put something on your car or your motorcycle. And so I think that a good portion of today's society is you just Google and you do the YouTube video to figure out how to replace something. And I mean, who hasn't done that? And so once again, you're going to a video to hear somebody else tell you what to read, right? so if it's Mike Kraft, once again, I don't think he's watching my video per se, but he's from the 1990s road racing on Hondas. And I guess he said he was riding a Honda RC30, and he had one of like 300 built or something. I'm not that in depth of the road racing motorcycle era of that time, of the products, but he made it sound like the one he got, they had like a 40, even back like in the 90s, he had a $40,000 race engine, that motorcycle. And he was with, I guess, Freddie Spencer. It's hard to remember all the names of the road racers back in the 90s, but that was his era, and he did it for 9 years. So he's just a really incredibly talented motorcycle rider. And I just think to myself, where do you get that? And like I say, he's such an analytical guy that I've never gone to a dealership per se. Rarely have I gone somewhere where somebody takes the incredible time to really read thoroughly through what they're looking at for you to purchase. And I even looked at him and said, there's so many things that you have here in your apparel section of, helmets and boots and pants and jackets and the different lines. And he also does the parts counter. And I thought he's extremely smart, because what he does, he truly reads what somebody's interested in, and he takes the time to really try to understand what you want and what he may think makes sense. So, once again, it goes back to, what do you read? And more than ever, for me, what I read, it's just incredible. I thought to myself this morning that it seems like the most dominant thoughts or dominant articles have either the EV, green agenda conversation, carbon footprint, net zero, electric batteries, the Inflation Reduction Act, and or China. If you really step back and start, browsing the internet, you're going to see a dominant theme of the green agenda in China. And what really this morning borderline irked me was here's China that's buddying up with Ford and Michigan for that contemporary Amperex limited company, CATL, out of China, that I spent a lot of time in detail last week explaining about the iron phosphate, phosphorus, battery that the LFP, lithium iron phosphate battery that, well, I tell you, when I sit down, it just crunches my freaking esophagus. Should be standing up to talk. That's the better thing to do. But anyways, that company out of China basically bought the exclusive battery rights. That's the most dominant, sought-after technology today more than ever of the battery manufacturing, and Ford has sold out to use their technology. So here we are in our country where China is moving in to build another massive battery factory to deliver the products to the electric vehicles. And already over in China, I've talked about it, they build like 80% of the electric batteries worldwide. They're now like 40 or 50%, 50 plus percent of the electric battery car sales. So here's China now that's moved into Michigan to buddy up with Ford using technology and dominating technology in the monies that our country developed. And we're now having to play to their hand to enable us to be able to utilize that technology. And the only reason China's here is because of the Joe Biden, aka New Green Deal, the Inflation Reduction Act. So China is getting the upper hand. It's incredible. You see the picture of Blinken over there with ZI and Blinken with their diplomat or their Secretary of State or whatever you call them. If you see the body posture of the Blinken to this ZI China guy, I mean, it is such the impression that China just knows they've got us. There's no doubt in my mind that China's presence, more than ever in our lifetime, is we're the bigger, badder country, and we're going to dominate the United States. And they're not going to have any choice. You're the lesser of the two, and that's where we are. And I know some people are like, oh, we got all this military strength. Okay, but if you look at what's going on the infrastructure of the industrialization of this country now, that's taking the exact same business model that China developed in 2009, we're just toe healing to China. We are just following China's progression. But in so many ways, I think China is sitting back and watching the degrade of our society, the hate among us, the division among us, to just give them the upper hand to really take more control of our country more than ever. I mean, I truly believe that the Chinese are just really secretly laughing in so many ways at this country's society of where it's going. And don't get me wrong, China by no means is some perfect society. So I'm not here to, be complimenting China. I'm saying that China has got a business plan and a community plan that I think most people aren't reading the fine lines of what's going on. And that's my whole point here is if you read the bills that these politicians are signing off on, just the Inflation Reduction Act, and you read about how it's written to entice foreign companies and foreign countries and foreign governments to be in our country, to be now manufacturing goods and services or whatever, basically toe healing to the New Green Deal agenda, the EV and net zero, and let's goes on and on. And we're selling out to the Chinese like never seen. I mean, I just think that it's bigger than most people really want to believe. And I'm sure somebody like, It's malarkey. It's just it's the trade among the countries. You're just freaking out. Okay. Well, China's got a plan, and China's plan is they're going to be the superpower. And now they're getting, somebody probably knows better than me, which I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, yeah, tell me what you know. But to hear about Ford butting up with the CATL that took our technology because of the company that developed it didn't have the support to continue to go and make it all work. And then the sitting politicians back when the company went bankrupt allowed for China to buy the rights to this country, the rights to this technology, where that should have been like, no. Anybody has any, future vision? Are you kidding me? That's where I think we're so divided from China to America. I think that China has like the 50-year plan. This country has like the 1 month plan, the day-to-day plan, the 1 year plan. Just look at New York City, where they've got the plan that you get to be an illegal and you get to live rent-free in somebody's house as the government pays the person $125 a day. Does this make any sense? Is anybody reading about this? Is anybody reading? And what really befuddles me, and I get it, as an individual that has a family, a business, and other things to take care of, I understand those people that have all these commitments, they do not spend the time to read to figure out what's going on around us. And sadly, these are the people that show up to the polls and they elect these officials. John Fetterman? Are you kidding me? This guy, why was this guy elected? The guy is not in good health to lead his authority. Just be unbelievable. And you just say to yourself, who elected these people? I know who elected these people. These are people who don't read. These people are more, caught up on looking at a video and seeing a guy that looks like a thug, and they can relate with this guy being a thug as well. And this guy's going to give them more thug authority. Wow. You get on Twitter, and it's beyond believable. I talked about it before, you have these two guys that are on there constantly, just think that Joe Biden and John Fetterman, that you're being very mean if you mock them for their challenges in life. And it's like, I don't think anybody's mocking them. I think everybody's looking at these individuals that sadly have challenges. And I think what you're hearing from most people is it's beyond believable that you have politicians of this stature that are in power that are so many ways powerless. So going back to the read, who reads what these political figures and these CEOs of companies are toe healing to from, what do we know? The big guys. Yeah, we all know. We all know it's being disclosed more than ever. That's at BlackRock and whatever the other major, money mongers that are controlling today's infrastructure more than ever of the manufacturing and the woke agenda, and the list goes on and on and on, and who's elected and who's not. Oh my gosh, just once again, China. I think if anybody here could get the OpenAI, artificial intelligence, to do its research on what's the most dominant words that are being used today, and I guarantee you it would be associated with green agenda. It would be a major one. China, I'm sure, would be another one. And wow, I just think that we are. Just what's the plan? Does anybody really know? Does anybody really know? All it's focused on is right now the sitting powers to be right now. All it's focused on is, for the most part, the green agenda. That's all you hear. And as I said last week, here's China now kind of being more open arms to us. And I was talking about last week of Bill Gates going over to China and meeting with ZI, and you just have to say to yourself, what is going on behind the scenes? And we know it's artificial intelligence. So so to me, I so strongly believe that Blinken over there with China, I just think there's an underlying conversation going on of this AI. that China is concerned about this artificial intelligence, and they see that we do have what they don't have. And are they trying to maneuver themselves to, if somebody here watching my channel knows more about this, please bring in the comments, talk about it. I mean, I'm not the expert here on this stuff. I'm just sharing what in my own little world, my own pea brain here of what, I feel is a threat to our country more than ever, is that the China's really more than ever maneuvering itself to just dominate our country more than ever. And it's incredible how, we went from everything being manufactured overseas to China, and in so many aspects now we're so-called bringing it back to our country, but we're bringing China back with it. So China, I mean, come on. I mean, is anybody really reading what's going on? Yeah. Anyways, a lot going on here. Busy day. Just figured I'd once again just like to reach out and just share ideas and thoughts. And it wasn't for Mike at that JT Motorsports. Just kind of, that's just what kind of took me back. It was like, wow, I don't think most people read. I really don't. I mean, and sadly, I talked about it here the other week as well. Baltimore has a serious reading challenge of their students aren't at reading levels that they should be for the grade they're in. And the NAACP is suing Baltimore City, wherever it may be, because there's so many young people that are coming out of high school or going through high school, middle school, elementary school, and their academics, their learning skills are not up to par to what they should be. That's a whole other conversation. Where is our country even ranked today in the academics to other countries? Where are we? Yeah, I haven't even looked that up by any means. So, anyways, all right, everybody. Hey, appreciate everybody's nice comments and follow my channel and share the channel. And just once again, hey, hope everybody had a great Saturday, or I should say Sunday, Father's Day, and I hope everybody's able to reach out. And for those who we've lost our father, whatever, condolences to anybody here watching my channel. That's definitely a day of memory, and I talked a little about yesterday of the power of us men and the fathers and the family, which that's something that's a whole other challenge in our society more than ever. But anyways, all right, everybody. Hey, hope everybody has a great day. What am I doing next? One of my guys at the car meet yesterday, he's like, man, you're slowing down. You didn't buy anything lately. I was like, gee, thanks. I mean, sincerely, it's like, yeah, that's all I need. Try to get me now motivated to go buy something else, right? Yeah. All right, everybody, hey, thanks. God bless. Stay safe. Have a great day.